Hi guys! Once again, thank you so much for being part of our Living Lotus yoga community on Patreon. This is your hip check class coming up. So this is a really great class if you find that you've got a lot of tension or tight hips, any tension or tightness in the low back or the glutes. So if you tend to sit for long periods of time, perhaps sometimes when you wake up in the morning that your low back and your hips feel a little bit tight, this is the class for you. So to begin, you're going to come down onto your back. Get comfy down here. Let your feet roll apart slightly. Allow your hips to soften. Your hands can come down by your sides. Let's roll our palms open, so face them towards the ceiling. And then just let the shoulders drop into the mat. Wiggle around. Get comfy. And now begin with 3 big breaths. Inhale for full expansion. Sigh it out. 2 more. And then just continue to deepen your breath. In and out through the nose. And just shifting your focus to here and now. You on your mat. Putting any to-do lists off to the side. It's all going to be there when you're done. So really focus on this time that is dedicated to you. When you are ready, go ahead and draw your left knee up in towards your chest. Now try not to pull on the leg. We're just going to let gravity do the work and drop the leg towards you. You can support the leg on either side and just take a couple of breaths. Allow your left arm to be a kickstand and let the left leg begin to fall open to the side. So very gentle hip stretch. From here, we're going to come into our half happy baby. So just reaching for the sole of the foot. You can reach either to the outside or to the inside. That's your preference. Guide your knee down towards the mat and the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Don't worry if it doesn't come all the way there. The intention is there. You're going to bring the right hand to the top of the right thigh and then just apply a little bit of pressure so that we can encourage the right hip to stay down onto the ground. Again, keep those deep breaths going in and out through your nose. Focusing the breath down to the area of the left hip. And then we'll release, we'll guide the leg back into center. Take 1 breath in. Let it go. Let the leg lengthen along with the exhale. All right, other side, right knee up in towards chest. Again, we're not pulling the leg, we're just stabilizing or supporting it as gravity drops the knee towards us. Now your right hand becomes a kickstand as your right knee falls to the side, and we're just beginning with this gentle hip stretch. You're always welcome to stay here in this gentler hip stretch if that half happy baby isn't for you right now. But otherwise, if it is, let's come into it. So we're reaching either outside or inside of the foot, that's your preference. Knee down towards the ground, sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, and left hand, bring it to the left thigh. Keep that left hip towards the ground. Settle in, deep, deep breaths. Release, draw the knee back into center. Breathe in, breathe out, release the leg down. And then just shake out the legs a little bit and go ahead and walk both feet up onto the mat. Feet about hip distance apart, heels not too far away from your seat or your glutes. Take your left leg and stack it into your figure four. From here, left hand's going to apply a little bit of pressure just above the left hip crease, sort of rolling the thigh away. Deep breath. And then we're going to go ahead and reach around the right thigh. Well, there's options. You could reach either side of the right pant leg. You could reach right around behind the right thigh, or perhaps you can reach on top of the right shin. Guiding the legs towards you, keeping the breath nice and deep and steady, focusing on letting any tension that you might be feeling in the hip area, in the glutes, in the low back, letting it go. Going to release that right leg, bring the right foot down to the ground, and then taking the left leg and just crossing it over, just like you're crossing your legs. And from here, starting to draw the legs back in towards us. So this is our reclined cowl face pose. You can reach for the shins, you could reach for the ankles, it's up to you, or you could keep the feet on the ground here. Just breathing into the stretch and finding the variation that best suits you right now. Deep breaths. Breathe in. And breathe out. Release back down to the ground. Take this left foot, bring it down to the mat. Actually, let's go ahead and lengthen out that left leg. A little bit more of a release, and then we'll bring that left foot back to the mat. And we'll take our right leg and stack it in figure four or reclined pigeon. So let's add a little bit of pressure to the right thigh. Hand just above the hip crease and rolling that right thigh open. Deep breaths. And then we're going to go ahead and reach either each side of the left pant leg, behind the left thigh, or on top of the left shin. Draw the legs back in towards you and really try not to rush through these stretches. We want to keep the breath slow, long, and steady. We usually hold quite a lot of tension in these areas that we're targeting today. So we're just going to take our time, not rush, and really encourage that tension to leave. And then deep breath in. And as you breathe out, release. Let your left foot come down, and now cross your legs once again. Right leg crossing over left. So we can keep the feet here to the mat. We can draw the legs towards us, reach for shins or ankles. Find the variation that suits and breathe. Deep breath in. And exhale, release. Let's take the right leg and lengthen it. And then bring it up. Rock the knees a little bit from side to side. Roll to your favorite side, and then just press the ground away and come on up. Find your seated bound angle or butterfly. So soles of the feet coming together, make sure you can ground those sit bones. Knees opening to the sides, nice and wide. And then we're just going to sit up tall. Inhale to lift the legs up. Exhale to drop them down. 2 more. One more. And drop them down. From here, take one of your legs, it doesn't matter which one, and then lift it up as if you were perhaps cradling a baby. And from here, what you're going to do is just make little circles with the hip. So the arms are guiding the leg here. The leg is nice and heavy. Upper body, arms are doing all of the strength work. And then we're going to send those circles the other way. And then bringing your leg to center, make sure we're sitting tall. Just rock the leg back and forth. 2 more, back and forth. 1 more. And from here, we're going to come into fire logs. We'll be stacking the legs. So the bottom one, scoot it forward slightly. And then taking your top leg, stacking the ankle, top ankle to bottom knee. And then same, top knee to bottom ankle. This leg is probably going to want to lift up towards you. That's okay. Just taking the hand, same hand as leg, and applying a little bit of pressure there. Not too much, just enough so that you start to feel the stretch on the back outer hip of that top stacked leg. Sitting up tall, try and relax the shoulders, and then just take 3 rounds of breath. Slow and steady. And from here, we're going to take this top leg and bring it underneath. Work the next side. So again, lifting the leg up, cradling the baby, and then little circles, just in one direction. Let the leg be heavy, let the arms do the work, and then reverse your circles. Bringing your leg to center, rock it back and forth. And remember, you're just working within your mobility, your range of motion for your hip today. So don't worry if these movements aren't too big. Keep them nice and small. And then again, scoot this bottom leg forward slightly and stacking your legs. So top ankle to bottom knee, top knee to bottom ankle. A little bit of pressure to the top thigh. Settle it in. Sitting up tall, relax your shoulders. 3 rounds of breath. And release. From here, bring both feet to the mat, hold on to the knees. Inhale, sit up tall, even lift your heart and gaze. And then exhale, round through the back, lengthen through the arms. 1 more, inhale, sit up tall. And exhale. From here, we'll lengthen our legs out in front of us. So once again, ground out your sit bones. Let's keep the right leg long. And you're going to draw the left foot to the inner right thigh. So that left knee is out to the side. From here, sitting tall, we're going to fold over this extended leg. So we'll reach and then fold, and your hands might come to your thigh, to your shin, or perhaps to the foot. Again, just work into your range of motion or your comfort level today. Deep breaths. We'll come up nice and tall and take this into a twist. So take your left foot, cross it over the right. You can take that left arm and sweep it around behind you, lengthen right arm, and then as you pull it down, let's bring the right elbow to the knee. We're going to gaze over our back shoulder. Deep breaths. And then inhale, bring it back to center. And take your left leg and lengthen it. Other side, right foot up to inner left thigh, right knee opening to the side. Sit up tall, ground the sit bones. And then folding over the extended leg. And coming up nice and tall, take it into a twist. So take the right foot, cross it over the left leg, take the right arm behind you, lengthen left arm, and then as you pull it down into the twist, left elbow to right knee. Gaze over your back shoulder, and once again, find your breath. And come back into center. Let's lengthen both of the legs. Just give them a little shake out. And from here, we'll cross the ankles, draw the feet towards us, and then bring it over onto your tabletop. So hands slightly ahead of your wrists, knees underneath your hips, about hip distance apart. And what we're going to do from here is get nice and light on the left side so that we can lift the left knee and then just take it into a few hip circles in one direction. Try and keep the weight even on the 3 points on the ground, so both hands and the right knee. Probably have a tendency to want to lean over to the right. We're going to try and even out that weight a little bit. And then sending your circles the other way. We'll do one more. And we'll bring the knee back underneath us. Hold here, table, for a breath. Get light on the right, hover the right knee, and hip circles. Just going in one direction. Trying to keep that weight even, and then reverse. And guide the knee back. Table, take a breath in, and out. From here, tuck your toes, send your seat back. Now use the strength of your legs as you transition to downward dog. Hips up and back. Walk your dog. Get a nice stretch for the back of the legs, coming into the hamstring area. Deep breaths. Okay, let's hold down dog for a round of 3. So settle yourself in. 3 big breaths. From here, inhale, right leg out behind. Exhale, step that right foot forward between the hands. Drop your back left knee. And then we're going to come on up and bring our hands to the right thigh. You might like to even scoot the right foot forward slightly, because we're going to rock the hips forward so that we're getting into the back left hip. Hands can rest on the right thigh. We can even apply some pressure to the right thigh. Bring the spine nice and tall and roll the shoulders back. Lift your gaze, lift your heart, and sink in through that left hip. Pressing firmly through your right foot. One more breath. From here, bringing the spine nice and straight. Maybe we draw that right foot back towards us slightly. And then we're going to bring our hands down to the inside of the right foot. So now send your right foot over to the outside of the mat. Keeping our palms pressing down into the ground. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. And if you'd like to take this a little bit further, we're going to lift the right hand and bring it to the right thigh and then apply a little bit of pressure, even rolling to the outside of the right foot. And if this is feeling good, we can tuck the toes on the left leg and lift the back left knee. From here, we're going to come into a little bit more of a twist, spinning our right shoulder towards the ceiling, gazing up to the ceiling. One more breath. And then go ahead, bring it back to the mat, drop the left knee, draw that right foot back to the center, frame the foot, tuck toes, lift back left knee once again, step back, down dog, walk it out. Keep breathing. Hold downward dog for a round of 3. Other side, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step left foot forward between the hands. Drop your back right knee. Might like to scoot that left foot forward slightly. We're gonna come up, hands to left thigh, and then sinking in, so pushing the hips forward so you can feel it down through the right side. From here, roll shoulders. Spine tall, press a little bit into the left thigh, left foot pressing down, lift gaze and heart to the ceiling. One more. And we're going to come down. Bring our hands inside of the left foot, scoot that left foot over to the outside of the mat. Palms pressing down into the ground and holding here for a couple of breaths. So this little sequence that we're going through is a variation of our lizard stretch and lizard pose. If we want to deepen it a little bit, left hand comes to left thigh and we apply a little bit of pressure, rolling to the outside of the left foot. And if we want to take that even further into the stretch, tuck toes on the back leg, lift the right knee, apply the pressure on the left hand into the left thigh, spin the left shoulder and gaze to the ceiling. One more breath. Bring it back to center. So first the gaze, then the hand, drop the back knee. Scoot that left foot between the hands, framing that foot. Tuck toes on your back right leg, lift back right knee, step left foot back, down dog. Walk it out. Couple of breaths. And then we'll settle the pose and hold for 3. Inhale, extend right leg out behind you. Exhale, draw your right knee forward. We're coming into pigeon pose. So your right foot comes behind your left hand. Your right knee comes behind your right hand. As you're bringing the shin down to the ground, go ahead and scoot your back leg, your left leg behind you. Palms can stay to the mat here. We can lengthen the spine, lift the heart slightly. We can hold and breathe in this variation of our pigeon, if it is in your practice. If you would like to, you can fold forward over that front leg. You can stack hands, rest forehead on top. Or perhaps the head comes to the ground, but again, find the variation that works for you today. It's also a great option to bring a block underneath the right hip and just lifting the hip slightly. Deep breaths here. Encouraging all of that tension to leave. Imagine you are breathing in softness, breathing out tension. Breathing in softness, breathing out tension. One more. And gently we'll come out of the pose. So if you're all folded, just gently draw the hands back underneath you. Press and lift yourself away from the mat. Palms pressing into the ground. Tuck the toes on the back. Left leg. Lift that back left knee. And then send that right leg out behind you. Three-legged dog variation. And then right leg down. Walk it in. Hold down dog for a round of 3. Okay, inhale, left leg out behind you. Exhale, draw left knee forward. So pigeon on the other side. Left foot behind right hand. Left knee behind left hand. Drop the leg, scoot your right leg, your back one out behind you. And settle once again into this pose. Remembering we could bring a block over to the left side, under the left hip. We'll press the palms, we'll roll the shoulders, lift gaze and heart. If it's in your practice and you want to go ahead and fold forward, you can, either head to the ground or stacking the hands and bringing the head on top. Settle in to your pigeon, whatever that might look. And we'll use that breathing mantra again, breathing in softness, breathing out tension, breathing in softness, breathing out tension. One more. Gently coming out of this pose, draw yourself away from the ground if you were folded, palms pressing firmly down, tuck toes on the back leg, lift your back right knee, and we're going to take that three-legged dog, so left leg up and out behind you, and then bring your left foot down and walk out your down dog. Hold once more for a count of 3. And from here, gaze up at your hands, bend your knees a little, and then walk both of your feet in so that you can come to your deep squat Umalasana. So for that, toes are slightly turned out. Our seat is going to drop down towards the ground. We're going to lengthen through the spine. Hands can stay to the ground here, or we can begin to press elbows into knees, knees into elbows, and bring palms together right up to your heart center. So holding here in your deep squat. Close the eyes if you'd like. Once again, we'll go for a round of 3. And from here, as gracefully as you can, bring your seat down to the ground. Bring your feet out in front of you, and we shall make our way onto our back. So to do that, we'll just walk our hands down today and come all the way down onto the back. And get nice and comfy. Go ahead and draw both knees into your chest. Give them a nice hug towards you. From here, we'll come into our full happy baby. So we can choose to keep that more relaxed by just widening the knees and resting our hands on top of our shins. And this is a slightly more relaxed variation of your happy baby. If you want to come into the full version of the pose, reach for the insides of your feet and then draw your knees wide and soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. As you're doing this, keep rooting your tailbone down towards the ground. Try to soften your shoulders down towards the mat. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. And then just to switch things up a little bit, I'm gonna encourage you to try flipping your grip. So if you're reaching for the insides of your feet, now reach for the outsides, or vice versa. And just hold it there for a couple of rounds of breath. Notice if that changes up the pose at all, how the sensations differ, what's going on in your body. One more breath. And slowly guide your knees back together. Winding pose, rest your hands on your shins and just circle your knees. And then send your circles the other way. Come back into center, and now drop your feet down onto the mat. And we're going to come into our reclined bound angle. So you can feel free to grab blocks here and bring them underneath the thighs. You're going to let the soles of the feet come together once again, knees wide. Again, we can support this pose with blocks under the thighs, or we can just allow the legs to rest, drawing themselves down towards the ground. Bring your hands on either of your hip points, or each of your hip points. And just let them rest there. Let your shoulders drop into the mat, untuck your chin and get comfortable. We're going to close with just a little bit of pranayama or breath work. And we'll keep it simple. I really want you to focus on relieving and releasing the tension that may still be in your hips or your low back or your glutes. So any last remaining tension, let's work it out through the breath. Inhale to fill your belly and your lungs to the count of 4. And exhale to the count of 8. So really work to lengthen that exhale. In and out through the nose. Breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 8. Keep it going. Feel free to come back to that breath mantra, breathing in softness, breathing out tension.
Take one more round of breath. And take a deep inhale. Sigh this one out. Slowly guide your knees back up towards the ceiling. Even use your hands to just aid the legs. Feet back to the mat. And gently rocking a little bit from side to side. Knees to center, draw them into the chest. Winding pose. Give them a nice little squeeze and hug towards you. And then just let the feet come to the ground. Roll to your favorite side and come on up, find seated.
So thank you for joining me for class today. I hope you liked your hip check sequence. Hope you are feeling a lot more at ease with a lot less tension. Namaste.